I can create a game changer.
It's kind of late now, Carson. The season's almost over.
Next year I will.
Okay. I just knew that I wasn't going to be at a lot of the games, so I did not want to say that I could do it. Because Griffin doesn't drive, so he needs a ride to his games.
No, it doesn't.
How old is he?
He's like
He's
14.
Yeah, he did that.
He missed like 2 years.
He's earned a driver's test yet?
No, you don't. He just turned 14.
Yeah, he doesn't get that. Can he drive? Like, can he move a car?
No.
He should teach him anything.
Yeah, he's not. We're not. We're. Yeah, no. Griffin is not. I'm a little nervous about Griffin learning how to drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
He's not the most observant person in the world.
Oh.
Like when he was in middle school, he like sixth grade, he almost got hit by a car, but he didn't even know he almost got hit by a car. Like he was crossing the road, and he like literally like was like the closest
But you
call.
would have gotten so much money if you didn't get
I know, right? And this mom called me and she's like, "Is Griffin okay?" And I was like, "He didn't say anything." I said, "Griffin, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "He almost got hit by a car today." Like and I was like, "Griffin, you almost got hit by a car. When?" And I was like, "Oh my!" They literally like was like it was the closest call. It just like he just goes through his world and it's like.
You're gonna have to put the opposite.
I know, seriously, he terrifies me. So. I think he just gets focused on whatever he like. Yeah. And so I think that's why he's good at baseball. Like I think he just like everything else goes away. And, okay. So, all right. So guys, these two rules are exponent rules, and this is probably gives most students the most trouble. And so when we're multiplying this, we're just basically putting like the different parts together. So I'm doing 5 times -3, which would be -15. Then I'm going to put the A's and B's together, and we have to count how many A's there are and how many B's. So there's 3. How many are here?
1.
There's 1. So how many total?
4.
There's going to be 4. And then how many B's? 6. Now, that sounds like you're like, why would that be difficult? It obviously gets more complicated than that. This is a pretty easy version of it. But at the same time, it's an exponent rule that lots of students forget. Now, this one is distributive property. So this is different than the front side where I said you have to write it twice. You actually could write this twice. So I'll show you that.
I already did that.
You could write it twice, would be fine. But you can also distribute in this case. So I can do, guys, we can do 4 to the second, or we can do 4 times 4. It's the same thing. 4 to the second is 16. How many x's will we have? There's 3 and 3, so that's going to be 6. So what we do here, if we want to distribute that power in, we actually multiply it. We do 3 times 2. Or you can do it the long way here. And then 4 times 2, or 4 plus 4 would be 8. So whatever way you want to do it, if you'd rather just write it twice, that works fine. And then the bottom 2 questions, I actually think these might be the ones you might be best at because we did a lot of solving equations in geometry. We use this quite a bit. So being able to solve equations with variables on both sides or variables on just one side is something that I think we got pretty comfortable with and we are good at. So in this case here, this 5x and 4 go together. And so we have 9x. Yep. Yep, so we're going to move that 7 over. And then we're going to divide by 9. Okay? Whereas over here, a little bit more complicated. We're going to distribute first. So we distribute contributed that 2 in just to the first two parts of the problem. This negative 6 minus 8, we're going to put those together. And so we're going to put them together. Negative 6 minus 8 is a negative 14. Okay? Now I have variables on each side. So I want to bring them both to the same side. Which variable do you guys want to move?
2.
Yeah, so we're going to move this 2x. We're going to subtract it over. Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel like this is a lot more satisfying than geometry.
I don't know. Some real geometry is like a messy room. It's like dumb.
Yeah.
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 And then divide by 3. I mean 6.
Yeah, divide by 6, which 3 is our answer. Yeah. All right, so we end up with our x being 3 there. So again, we'll go into some other types of skills next class. I do not anticipate the homework taking you guys the whole time, but I want to give you guys the time again just because I know some of you guys have